Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom has been made possible by generous contributions from GalleriE Chiz, Small Universe, and Captured Identity. You're listening to the song Struggle and Pain by Easy Does It 412.
Insert funny line here. I think we just did it right. Right there, right? Yeah. Thanks for not skipping to your recommended viewing here on YouTube. I promise the torch will be over in 10 minutes.
We got this hunger, it's itching. We on a mission. Remember water whipping in the kitchen. Zone flipping, long way from corner pitching. Hunting with wolves, trying to get this bread until my pockets is full. My mama raised me tough, my OG shaped me up. I'm a prodigy, a quadriplegia, PIMP.
Hey everybody, Adam Thomas here with Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom. Thanks again for joining us. Today we are coming to you from GalleriE Chiz, which is in the Shadyside neighborhood of Pittsburgh, about a half a mile or so, if that, from our outdoor gallery that you all know and love, of course. And I'm joined today by the founder and CEO of the Dreamz of Music Foundation, Mr. George Fadale.
Hello. How you
George,
doing today?
thank you so much for being
having
here
me on.
today. Now, we're going to be talking in a little bit about the organization itself, how all that got started, and a very cool event you have coming up towards the end of June. But before we get into all that, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came into getting this started?
Sure, Adam. Well, I'm a Gateway graduate, 2010.
Cool.
Currently, I'm a project manager at Davison Design and Development Firm. I do product development, websites, and mobile applications. Been working there now about 2 years, helping creative people in different ways. But really, my passion is music.
Right on. Good. We're friends then. We're friends. So what? Tell us a little bit about Dreamz of Music Foundation. What got that started? What started that?
Well, being that I'm the CEO and founder, I did start it up for a very specific reason. I would say my two inspirations behind it would be one, simply just like I said, music. I DJ'd for a very long time. Also, I rap a little bit here and there,
Cool.
and I sing. I took singing lessons when I was younger. So, music has always played a very important part of my life. But the main reason I'm doing it is because of my best friend, Phil McKenzie. We've been friends since the 3rd grade. I remember the day we met like it was yesterday. And played football together. He was a junior Olympic gold medalist, very talented young man. Unfortunately, though, in 2012, he was in a tragic accident. And he was thrown off a porch and broke his neck.
Oh, wow.
And he is a quadriplegic. He's paralyzed from the neck down. And he's had a very, very rough time with it. It was years before charges were filed. You can even look him up. He's on WPXI, Trib Live. It's Phil, P-H-I-L, McKenzie, M-C-K-E-N-Z-I-E. And you can see more about his story. It's a very, very rough thing to watch, but I would encourage everybody, please, to look him up and look a little background on him. But, even though he's going through this, he still finds that drive to write lyrics and create music.
He's a rapper, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He does hip-hop, rap music. We built a makeshift studio in his bed with temporary materials so that we can still allow him to do what he's passionate about.
Cool.
So that's the main reason. I want to help him, and I want to help people like him.
Right. I think that's a really genius idea in my mind, because I think that's one of those sort of little forgotten areas of sort of talent discovery within the world of music, is that there are those folks out there that don't have those sort of faculties that we take for granted. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they still have that inside them, and we as a society, we've made those allowances and things in other industries. We understand, like, it's not a big deal if somebody has a disability. They can still be a teacher or whatever, executive, whatever. And, there's no difference there.
Exactly. His
But
mind's still okay.
yeah,
It's just his body isn't.
it's the so I think seeing music. I mean, like honestly, the only you would see those once in a while, like somebody like Jeff Healey would come along or something like that. But it was never like I don't know. It was never like a widely
A widespread thing.
like a widely accepted or widely understood concept that there are lots more people, thousands and thousands of people out there that are in that same situation, that they have all the talent in the world. There has to be a way to be able to help them bring some of that to fruition in their lives.
Yeah. And, I did do a lot of research, and there are, many nonprofits out there that do similar things. But the biggest thing about my nonprofit is that I'm not going to be selective on what I do. I want to do everything from A to Z that a record label would do for that artist. That's what I want to provide for them. Like I was telling you before, I want to build a studio that's fully handicapped accessible with a banquet area that's handicapped accessible they can perform their music in. Have the offices to have the team to support their music. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot I need to do, but obviously I got a long journey in front of me.
Well, you know what? It's nice that we've met you at this early stage. I kind of feel like our organizations would be able to help each other out, especially, there's a lot of people that we've learned the ropes of the nonprofit game. Yeah. We're still relatively new to it, but, there's some stuff I think, we'd like to be able to help out with. And this is one of them, obviously, being here. We want to try to get as many people to learn about what you're doing, because I think it's fantastic. How does Phil feel about it? Is he pretty excited about everything?
Yeah, I mean, he's actually currently in the hospital.
Oh, man.
Being a quadriplegic, his immune system is lowered. His quality of life is very low. So this is, something for me to try and do something positive for him. I mean, he's been my best friend since the 3rd grade. I mean, we were, attached by the hip all throughout high school. We did music. We built a studio in his basement of his house when we were young kids. And so music has always been a big part in our lives. I mean, we've been performing since we were kids. Like I said, I was a DJ. But the biggest thing is, ever since I've started this, I never realized how many people locally really were in need of this. I mean, I'm already connected with another young man who's 3/4 blind. And he's a rapper too as well. He lives in Penn Hills. And then another young man, his name is Shaylin Abram. He's actually pretty well known. He's a blind singer, sings soul and jazz music.
Cool.
And many other connections that I've made, throughout my conversations with artists all over the United States who, have a disability and are pursuing their dream.
Yeah.
And a lot of them need guidance, and a lot of them don't have the tools to properly perform their trade.
True, and especially, I mean, I think, I'm speaking fairly broadly here in terms of, kind of the average person in America. Like, about the only disabled artists they know have all pretty much been blind. You know what I mean? Stevie Wonder and people like that, or Jeff Healey, like I mentioned, or whatever. It's never been somebody that maybe didn't have use of their arms or legs or whatever, for the most part. There's a few exceptions, but something like that, I think, yeah, like you said before, it's lacking, and I think that's gonna prove pretty huge for what you're doing, in my opinion.
And even after, because I was curious myself, if there was any other musicians out there who were quadriplegic.
Right.
I couldn't find anything, because it's hard to be able to perform when you're paralyzed from the neck down. But, somehow he's finding it in him to perform on June 24th at the event that you were talking about.
That's awesome.
It's the
Tell you
first
what,
time.
we'll come back to that. We have to take a very quick break right now, just to send out a few little quick messages, some heads ups,
Awesome.
Pay a bill or two, whatever. But anyway, everybody, make sure you stick with us. We'll be back in just a couple minutes here, and we're going to learn more about the Dreamz Music Foundation here with founder George Fadale, as well as their upcoming event on June 24th. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The theme for the Shadyside Open Air Gallery in July will be Americana. Make sure to get your photos submitted by June 15th to be considered. You can submit them directly to the Open Air Gallery's Facebook page, or use our hashtag on Instagram, #CapturedPGH. This episode of Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom was filmed at GalleriE Chiz. This features the abstract work of Ellen Chisdes Newberg. You can see her work online at GalleriChiz.com or visit the gallery on Ellsworth Avenue in Shadyside.
Hey everybody, Adam Thomas here, Capture Pittsburgh Darkroom. We are here once again at GalleriE Chiz in the Shadyside section of Pittsburgh. I'm joined with founder and CEO of the Dreamz of Music Foundation, George Fadale. And in the first half of our show, we were talking about a little bit about his background and about the organization in general and what kind of got that whole ball rolling. Now we're going to kind of shift gears a little bit and discuss a very, very cool event that George has coming up with the foundation on June 24th. George, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, it's called the Summer Jam Cookout, and it's an event to support the disabled musicians that I have on my roster so far. They're all performing, the three that I had mentioned before, cool. The two blind musicians, and then my best friend Phil. They're performing live. They're the main events. We have about 12 other musicians who are performing in all different genres, from rock and roll to jazz, R&B, hip-hop, rap, pretty much everything to keep the flow of the day moving forward, because music is that important key to that. So not only that, got to have good food. So I got food trucks coming. We have a gyro truck and a taco truck and a couple other coming too as well. We're going to have some kids activities so awesome. Kids can have fun, businesses, advertising, and mainly the music.
Cool. So where is this all taking place?
Well, it's going to be at the Monroeville Community Park at the Monroeville Tall Trees Amphitheater.
Okay, cool.
It starts at 1 o'clock, goes till 8 p.m. on Sunday, June 24th. Coming up here in a couple of weeks.
That's
Hopefully
right.
You guys can come out and enjoy the time with us as well.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And if not, we at least got to have some sort of something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll run this episode on loop or something. You know what I mean? At a little table, like, come and watch. But yeah, that's really cool, man. Who do you know offhand? Like, what are some of the other artists that are going to be there besides the folks on your roster?
Yes. I could go down the list. We have a group called the EK Band, Elias Curry and the EK Band, a very well-known local band. They do rock and roll, more newer age style. I have a gentleman who's a friend of mine. His name is Calvin. This gentleman, I lie to you not. If you closed your eyes when he was singing, you would think Michael Jackson was in front of you.
That's awesome.
We have a gentleman who's coming in from Chicago. He goes by Unique the Kid, Unique, U-N-Y-Q-U-E.
You have somebody coming in from Indy too, right?
Indiana too as well, potentially.
Yeah.
He's coming in to do a book signing. The gentleman from Chicago, and he wants to perform with us too as well.
Cool.
He wrote a book called When Prayers Go Up, Blessings Come Down. Check it out on Amazon. Very interesting read. We have many other artists performing. We have Kalia and Tyrone. She's like a reggae guitarist, singer, very talented young lady with her partner Tyrone. We have Landon Thomas. He's the CEO of LIE Administration, very well-known local R&B singer. Also Valleytainment, which is another group that is videography / record label local here in Pittsburgh. My best friend and business partner, because we have a record label too as well, we're starting up called DTOW Records. His name is Pep Kravitz, kind of like Lenny Kravitz.
Right.
He's a hip-hop musician, pretty well known in the area. Also, we have Shauna Roxanne. She's like a reggae R&B singer. She's real interesting. Cherry Voss, a female rapper. I think that's pretty much everybody. Like I said, the main events, though, are the Vendetta, which is the three-fourths blind young man from Penn Hills. Shaylin Abram and Soul Radio, his band. He's fully blind. He's local here in Pittsburgh. And then my best friend, Phil McKenzie, otherwise known as Easy Does It 412.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's EAZIDUZIT 412, all one word. He's got music out there. It's... he tells stories. I mean, his main hit out right now is called Struggle and Pain. And it's basically talking about what he's going through right
It's close to home. Yeah.
And the biggest thing is this event is the first time that he gets to perform his music since he broke his neck back in 2012.
That's awesome.
So
that is awesome.
It's huge.
Yeah. I really do hope that I don't know how it would get out there, but I hope that in some way we can help maybe get some of the attention of the media with this this segment here, because that's certainly, I mean, if there is anything going on in Pittsburgh that day that should have media coverage and get this story out more and more. That's it. And that right there, that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
And, as much as people don't like to realize it, music is very important. It keeps people going. It inspires.
Yep.
And it could keep people alive.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that if my best friend wasn't able to put his pain into his music, he would have fell asleep and did his best not to wake up.
Mm.
But because he has that, it's a tool.
Yeah.
And he uses it.
It's therapeutic.
Exactly.
It's just as important as anything going on at the hospital or anything else at home. Yeah, definitely. So we were talking prior to starting here about some of the future plans you have coming up. So you're waiting on approval for 501c3 right now.
That is correct.
What are some of the other things that you want to accomplish moving forward once that's all in place?
Okay. Well, the way I look at it is like I said, I want to create a place that's all in one for these artists. So the first thing on my agenda would be to try to obtain donation money to put towards a commercial office building so that I could build handicapped accessible studios, the handicapped accessible banquet room, and then offices for the organization. Right. Now, after that's complete, then I would be I have a team of 36 people, all local, volunteering in my organization, that are all guaranteed a position in my company once we're established. And they're all in different areas of life, different aspects of music, business, and they're all 100% towards our cause. I've either met them professionally or through my, obviously life experiences. Now, this is basically my team here in Pittsburgh, because I trust these people and I know they're tied into our cause. So then I bring them on board so that I can perform all of those services to the artists, start reaching out to artists all over the world, bringing them in. Obviously, we're going to review them talent-wise, because we know there's a lot of music out there that isn't quite satisfactory.
Right,
but,
right. You're a label, not an incubation
exactly.
firm. Yeah.
But, we want to help people who are truly talented and deserve that chance. And we need this building in order to provide those services for them. Mm-hmm. And we need sponsors to be able to help fuel our business. And not only that, just volunteers, anybody who wants to support our cause.
Like this is something that could spread. You could be networking with recording facilities almost anywhere in the world that could provide, the actual product for you to distribute on behalf of, similarly disabled recording artists anywhere.
Yeah.
It could be anything. It could be in, Japan or Germany or wherever, South America, So it's, you get this model in place. I think it's something that has a lot of life to it, a lot of potential.
And the biggest idea here is I just want to create a team, essentially a record label of all genres, people of all walks of life, and do something different.
Right.
Because if you think about it, all these record labels these days, very selective on the genres they're in, very selective on the music they're in. And, I see a lot of successful disabled musicians doing things independently. Mm-hmm. So I want to work with the artists or educate them how to be independent. Or if they want to get signed, help them build up their portfolio and then help them present professionally to record labels. Right. So, I want to help them, like I said, with everything from the education to the actual services rendered to obviously giving that full experience of being a musician.
I liked what you had mentioned offline about making sure you had, some of at least the rudimentary, medical facilities on site at your office, down the road. You've thought of all the angles. I'm very impressed with that aspect. That you've already thought this through completely. It's very, very, very cool to see that it wasn't just some pie in the sky idea like, oh yeah, my friend needs some help, so we're gonna just find a way to record and that's that. You've covered all the other ancillary sort of angles to this. It's very, very cool.
Well, it's funny. You wouldn't know it, but I came up with this idea on April 11th, not even 2 months ago, just a little bit more than 2 months ago.
Wow. I
built the website myself, built all the social media, planned the business with a few friends. I mostly did the planning. I wrote the bylaws for the incorporation, and I just wanted to jump on it because I learned that when you have an idea, you got to act.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't just sit there and no, you have to do it, hurry up and get your mistakes out of the way. And, you know, that was one of the best pieces of advice I got. Like, you need to hurry up, you know, and plan for your first mistake, because, you know, if you're just sitting and waiting and trying to perfect it before you put it into action, and nothing's going to happen. You know, you get lost in all those details. You just have to get out there and try it. And, you know, things move a lot more quickly when you actually just start getting going, you know, instead of planning. So, no, but I mean, seriously, like, even with that said, you have covered all those bases. It's very cool to see how far you've already come in such a short amount of time. Where can folks learn more about what you're doing?
Well, you're going to want to go to www.dreamsofmusic.org. And that's Dreamz with a Z, like
right.
Z's for catching some Z's.
Yep.
So dreamsofmusic.org or at Dreamz of Music on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
Cool.
You can see profiles on our artists. If you go to our website, there is a ton of information from our story. Another podcast I did with a local podcast called Eye for an Eye. They're a true crime podcast. Obviously, they do interviews where an eye for an eye was not met. You can listen to that on there. It's you'll go from crying to being mad to laughing to being happy.
You get really in depth on Phil's backstory then, I would imagine.
Very in depth on Phil's backstory, and also we talk about the organization again.
Cool.
And, you know, essentially the same thing we discussed on here, but they're very interesting podcasts. So if you like podcasts, check them out. But not only that, you could go and you could check out each story of all the artists that we're helping. You can check out their music. Their Facebook is right on our website. Also, we have a donation page that actually provides information on my exact donations plan and step for step what I plan on spending donations on. I have the sponsorship benefits so that if they're a company owner, they can look through our sponsorship benefits. As well as that, obviously, you can contact me directly through email right on the website, and my phone number is also as well on there.
Excellent. And one more time, June 24th.
June 24th, Summer Jam Cookout.
Awesome. In Monroeville.
Yes, Monroeville Community Park, Monroeville Tall Trees Amphitheater. It's going to be awesome. Like I said, all proceeds go to supporting disabled musicians.
That's fantastic. Starts at 1 p.m., so make sure you get down there. Plan to spend some time there. And it is kid-friendly. There's kids events there,
all
correct?
ages,
Yeah.
all ages.
Cool. That's fantastic.
And we're going to have business vendors, all different types of things, book signing. We'll have a live DJ. We'll also have live music all throughout the day, so that the excitement never stops.
That's fantastic, man. Well, thank you so much for being here and letting us kind of pick your brain on this new development with you. I wish you all the luck in the world for this, and I think you're going to get it. I mean, when you set out to do things right, when you set out to help people, it's amazing how fast the doors open. You're experiencing that right now. We've experienced that ourselves with Capture Pittsburgh. So on behalf of myself, the rest of the staff, thanks a lot for being here, man. Much appreciated. And thank you so much to GalleriE Chiz for allowing us to take up some of their space here and film today. With that in mind, I'd like to wish you all a fantastic day, and we will see you back here very, very soon at Capture Pittsburgh Darkroom. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody.
This has been a production of Captured Cities. Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom is produced by Jason Fait, Adam Thomas, and Jason Kodat. Production assistance for this episode was provided by John Hall and Dave Perlowski. Copyright 2018.